Alrighty, so my voice is a little bit better today. Not by much though, but it's definitely a little bit better. You are gonna still hear me sound like a bit of a robot, especially as we get near the end of the video. But the good news about this review, unlike yesterday, is that unlike how I have to do 8 games and I have to do a 50 plus minute video, which I have no idea how my voice was able to last for that long, consider how broken it was. Today, it's probably going to be a little bit shorter, though I will still, of course, do timestamp in terms of this video, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people want me to talk about what happened in that El Trafico game at the Rose Bowl, which I'll talk about that last because we're going to go in the order of talk about the last 2 games that finished on July 3rd on, on this board. And then on the other board, we'll talk about the 3 games that happened on the 4th of July, and that, of course, include El Trafico at the Rose Bowl. So we start off with the first one of this review, and that, of course, is Columbus versus Nashville. Now, the funny thing about this game is that this was actually supposed to be the first game to kick off at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, but unfortunately, there was lightning, and this game turns out to kick off relatively late, 8:45 p.m. local time is the kickoff of this game. And I also like to say that yes, I can understand why Nashville fans are very upset after this game. I mean, I know they're very upset in terms of some of the refereeing decision, and yes, there was definitely a controversial moment in this game. In fact, there was 2 controversial moments that we will definitely go over as this video or as this review goes. But as I said, the game is delayed due to lightning, and the game was kicked off at 8:45 p.m. Kucho would then hits one right to Willis before Amundsen would hits one right to Willis. Araujo then hits one right to Schulte in the 8th minute. And I don't think the weather delay has really dampened the start of this game. It's been a fast start for both of these teams. Boyd would then hits one right to Schulte for Farsi would puts it wide from close. But then in the 30th minute, this is where we saw the first controversial moment of the night when Christian Ramirez would score from Pucho to give Columbus a 1-0 lead. But the big question is, was the ball out of play when Pucho delivered this one into Ramirez? And on the replay, it definitely looked like it was out. I was very surprised that they didn't overturn this. And again, Nashville fans will be very upset about this, and rightfully so, because again, we've seen some very controversial call throughout the season, and really ever since VAR has introduced in MLS. And unfortunately, this is one of those moment again where yeah, it seems like that probably should have been a goal kick rather than it's a 1-0 lead for the Columbus Crew. But nevertheless, in the 43rd minute, or actually Ramirez actually looked to try to get another, but he missed wide there. And then the post would deny Cucho from close range. It was actually all Columbus up to this point. They were definitely putting a lot of pressure. Nashville was definitely praying for the halftime whistle will be sounded and looking to regroup while they're down 1-0. Mukhtar then fires one wide from long range on, I think it was like, what, the first shot that Nashville has? No, Yaga actually got the first shot for Nashville, but Nashville was definitely creating a lot of chances up to that point. But we do head to halftime with Columbus leading 1-0. In the second half, it looked like Nashville tied the game up, and this is where we get to the second controversial call of the game, where it looks like Tyler Boyd puts it into the back of net. They did check VAR to see whether or not if Boy actually handled the ball, and that basically was part of the play that allowed him to score there. And VAR says yes. Now, it is very close, and I would say that it was really tough to see whether or not indeed he did handball this one. And again, this goes back to what I said about clear and obvious kind of mistake, because the original call was a goal, and they overturned it. And this is where it's the frustration of VAR in MLS, and it's been pretty much a frustration for VAR in the rest of the world as well, where clear and obvious is almost different in every scenario, especially with the different VAR crew that is in charge of it. So yeah, I can understand why Nashville fans again is very upset about this, and they feel like that is just way too close for it to be all clear and obvious. But nevertheless, they did say it was the goal disallowed, so Columbus does keep their 1-0 lead. Bauer then hits one wide from close range, but then the 65th minute, Columbus would double the lead. It's Rossi. He scored from Boa and Cucho to give Columbus a 2-0 lead. Cucho then looked to get the third, but he puts it wide from long range. And then Mo Farsi would puts it wide on the doorstep of goal, one that I'm pretty sure he would love to have back. But it was all Columbus up to the point, and Nashville again. It seems like they might have waved the white flag, or the fact that Nashville fans are still very upset about the fact that they could have easily been tied up at one apiece in this game. Probably should have been 1-0 because of the first goal that really should have not counted in this game. Mukhtar then puts it wide from long range before Willis denied Jones as he pushed that one onto the post. But yeah, in the end, Columbus does get the 2-0 win. The shots in this one, 20 shots committed, 9 that Nashville has, 7 shots on goal compared to 3 that Nashville has, 3 shots off target compared to 6 that Columbus had, 6 shots that was blocked compared to 2 that Nashville has. And possession wise, Columbus had more of the possession, 60% possession, compared to just 40% possession that Nashville has in this game. So, yes, I can understand Nashville fans are very upset about how the outcome of this game because of the referee decision that gone against them. But in terms of balance of play, I think the crew deserve this win. They pretty much dominate throughout this this game, and obviously get the referee decision go their way. But it's not going to help the fact that I can fully understand why Nashville fans are very upset because of those referee decision that probably could have cost them a point or even all 3 points in this game. But that being said, moving on in the next match, we got RSL versus the Houston Dynamo, and this game felt like a playoff game, wasn't it? And I really hope that we're going to see another matchup between both of these teams in the playoffs. I mean, we saw it last year in the best of three series, and I wouldn't mind that would see this in the best of three series as well because yeah, this is a very entertaining series, and this game kind of proves it. As early on, Ojeda would miss one from close range, and by the way, it also doesn't help the fact that both of these teams were red hot coming in to this game, and it just kind of had a feeling that unfortunately, as high of a quality as this game is, somebody had to lose in this one. Though early on, it looked like the Dynamo was not going to be the one to do so, as in the 8th minute, Aliu would score from Kowitzik and Escobar to give the Dynamo a 1-0 lead. Chicho did look for an instant answer, but he was denied by Clark as he tipped that shot over. And then the post would deny Arango from close range. I'll tell you what, Chicho has been a bit snake bitten lately. I mean, after he has had a great run of form in the beginning of the first couple of months, he's been kind of going for a bit of a goal drought. But the good news for RSL is that, we know RSL is a really good team, one of the top team in the Western Conference. And what is one thing you want to do when you're a top team in your respective conference? You need to have multiple threat. And even though Chicho Arango is not banging the goals for RSL, RSL has just so many threats on the attack, and that they they are a team that this is why again I do think that between them and LAFC, there's not really much to separate who is going to be the team that could represent the West in MLS Cup. I mean, some would argue LAFC might be the one because LAFC themselves has also been red hot, but RSL, man, they are playing some really good soccer throughout this season, and one of those guys that has really picked up the slack in terms of Rongo not scoring the goals is Andre Gomez, as in the 24th minute after RSL pressed back for the equalizer. Gomez would score. He scored from Hidalgo to give RSL the equalizer. Koesic did look to respond, but he missed wide there. And then Clark would deny Luna from long range. And then Arango would puts it over in the back post as RSL no doubt had the momentum. They were looking to trying to take the lead. Though in the 42nd minute, Luna would score for probably in contention for goal of the week. I mean, there's a lot of goal of the week contention from this week, but what a strike that is from Diego Luna from long range to give RSL a 2-1 lead. And he's another guy that is known to be the goal scorer, though he's more of a creative player as what we have seen for RSL this this season. And yeah, just like that, RSL has the 2-1 lead. Brody would then puts it over from long range before Dorsey would puts it wide from long range here. And we do head to halftime with RSL with the lead. In the second half, Clark would deny Arango, but second chance there for RSL came from Andres Gomez, but his shot was actually clear off the line. And that was huge too, because just a couple minutes later, Dynamo would tied the game up, and they actually gave this as an own goal for Brody. Originally, it was actually given to Hector Herrera, and then it was given to Bossy. Well, actually, I think it's the other way around. I think it was Bossy the one that like he got the ball or got the credit for the goal, and then Herrera was given the credit because they found out Bossy didn't really touch that, and that cross kind of gone all the way. But in the end, they said it was an own goal for Brody. It looked like maybe Brody did get something on it. Either way, Houston wouldn't care. They were tied. They tied the game up to that point. Though Anelli did look to answer, and he probably should have answered because he was on the doorstep goal and he missed that one. Why? RSL no doubt has all the possession. The Dynamo was happy to sit back and counter. Hidalgo then puts it wide from long range. But then in the 67th minute, Ojeda would score. He scored from Luna to retake the lead for RSL. And then Crux had a chance to finish it for RSL, but he was denied by Clark there. There's no doubt that Matt Crux would want to have that one back because, again, he was in on goal. He was 1v1. He had plenty of time to think about that. And sometimes, in this game, when you have plenty of time to think about that, could also be a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because you have time to think where you put in the corner, but it's a curse because yeah, you might took too much time to think about and you might overthink it. And I think in that moment, Ross kind of overthink, and he didn't. He just couldn't figure out where he's gonna perfectly put this one, and instead just kind of showed that lack of composure and was denied by Clark with a relatively weak shot. And then Clark would absolutely rob Arango as he was in on goal there in the 88th minute. Again, Chicho Arango kind of been a bit stagnant in the last couple of games. He hasn't been that free goal scorer as what we've seen in the beginning of the season. But I also thought that these big chances come back on RSL because you just kind of had a feeling Houston was going to get one more chance to have a chance to tie the game up, and they did. In the 90th minute, Fiera had a chance to do so, but he can only hit one straight to McNabb. And in the end, RSL, they hold on to win 3-2 in this one. The shots in this one, 20 shots compared to the 7 that the Dynamo has, 10 shots on goal compared to the 2 that the Dynamo has. Safe to say that Steve Clark definitely had a good game in this one. 8 shots off target for the 2 that the Dynamo has, 1 shot that was blocked for the 3 that the Dynamo has, and possession-wise, 47% possession compared to 53% possession the Dynamo has in this game, which I hotly debated that because the Dynamo didn't really had a lot of possession in the second half. I can't believe they actually had more of the possession as a result of that. But in the end, very entertaining game. Again, I will not be surprised if we could see another playoff matchup between both of these teams. And if that is the case, I'm definitely going to be up for watching this one, just as a judge of how great this game turns out to be. That being said, I am now going to move on, and I would switch the board and stop the video, but you know what? Let's not switch the board. Well, actually, let's switch the board, but we're not going to stop the video. We're going to just switch the board manually. You would think I would absolutely stop the video because my voice is not very well today, but let's actually just get this review done straight away. And I think this. I'm gonna start doing more of this because I feel like this is more effective than just kind of stopping the video and then switch the boards. But either way, let us now talk about the 4th of July games, and we start off with the first one, which was Dallas and the Portland Timbers, and another entertaining game as well. In fact, early on, it looked like it was 1-0. Just 1 minute in, when Paz denied Evander after Tafari gave the ball away straight from the kickoff. So yeah, that was not a great moment there from Tosi Tafari. Very fortunate that the Timbers didn't punish Dallas for that. But they did punish Dallas in the 8th minute when Anthony would score the opening goal of this game to give the Timbers a 1-0 lead. And then he was looking for another one, but was denied by Paz here in the 14th minute. Musa then pulls it wide after the Timber gave it away in their own half. Turnover was definitely a problem in this game early for both of these teams. But then in the 23rd minute, Paz would deny Evander from close range, and then Farfan would head it right to Pantemis in the 25th minute. Rodriguez then puts it wide from close in the 32nd minute, but we do head to halftime with the Timbers leading 1-0 against Dallas. Really didn't last long in the second half because after Farfan puts it wide from close range, Pedro Musa would score the equalizer. He scored from Ensemble and Leggett to tie the game up at 1 apiece, though Rodriguez did look to answer, and he was in on goal there. there, but it was crucially blocked away by Tafari. So Tafari kind of redeemed himself a little bit after giving up that or made that terrible giveaway straight from the kickoff. He was definitely a hero here because if he didn't break up this shot, Capacito Rodriguez would have gave the Timbers the lead. And then Rodriguez would puts it just wide from close in the 57th minute. I thought it was a good response for the Timbers after giving up the equalizer. They were pressing to try to get the lead back, but instead it would be Dallas, the one that gets the lead. It's Kosi Tafari scoring from legit to give Dallas a 2-1 lead. I mean, again, it feels like it's a redemption arc kind of game for Kosi Tafari, making the mistake from the kickoff and now getting himself on the score sheet. I mean, the one that will make this even more of a redemption arc is the fact that he did give up. Dallas did gave up that goal in the first minute, but nevertheless, still great game there from Tafari. Great way to recover after almost a horror mistake that he made straight from the kickoff, but unfortunately that lead does not last long because just 2 minutes later, Evander would score from Anthony and Mora to tie the game up at two apiece. Logan Farrington did look to answer, but he was denied by Pentemes, and then Farrington would hit one right to Pentemes in the 82nd minute. Tell you what, Farrington, ever since he scored that goal against Minnesota, he's been very active for this Dallas team, and he's been doing that throughout the season. He's been a guy that's been very hungry to try to get more goals this season, which is something you always love to see your attacking player do. But there was no doubt that Dallas was pressing late for the winner, and fatigue might start to show him for the Timbers. Keep in mind, because these are our midweek games, road teams that definitely will start to kind of run out of gas a little bit late because of the short week, but also not to mention playing in the hot Texas summer that usually can cause fatigue late in the game. It's no wonder why these team from Texas always have a great home advantage because of the heat and the humidity. And eventually, Dallas does get that late winner despite the Timbers trying to hang on for the lead, and it's an unfortunate one too because Paredes fourth score an own goal here. This is just one of those ones where when you're a defender, it's always very tough. Where when the ball is coming in and you're facing in front of your own net, you got to be careful when you try to deflect that one behind because you can definitely stick a leg out and it can deflect it into your own goal, and that's exactly what happened in this sequence. So that gives Dallas the lead back, though Evander did have a chance to tie it, and in fact, it would have been tied if the Pulse didn't have had other ideas there. So the Timbers almost made it 3-3 in this game, but in the end, very entertaining game. It ends with Dallas winning 3-2 in this one. 16 shots for the 13 that the Timbers had, 4 shots on goal for the 5 that the Timbers had. Both teams had 3 shots off target, 9 shots on block compared to the 4 that the Timbers had, and possession-wise, 62% possession compared to the 38% possession the Timbers has in this game. And for the Timbers, I mean, yes, they would be frustrated that they didn't get anything out of this game, but I didn't think they played bad in this game. I mean, they had their moments in this game, and it's kind of a little bit unfortunate that the difference in this game was an own goal, and that we'll see whether or not if the Timbers can bounce back in the next game. But for Dallas, I think they'll be happy about this as well, especially after a bit of a rough loss that they suffer. And really, the last couple of games, it feels like they're coming back down to earth. This was definitely a game where they're happy the fact that they're getting themselves back to winning ways. Now, moving on in terms of the next game is Colorado and Sporting KC, and I'll tell you what, the Rapids they definitely left this one late, but in the end they get the 3 points over Sporting KC. And for Sporting KC, tell me if you heard this story before. Giving up late goals to give all 3 points to their opposition. Feels like it's been happening a lot this season. In fact, for a while it was a regular occurrence for the Sporting KC side. Now, in the first half, the first shot of the game did see Abubakar heads it wide from close before Rosenberry would hit one right to Milia. The Rapids, I thought they were the better team early as they were looking for the opener. Russell then was in on goal here, and he was trying to chip this one over Stefan, and a confident Johnny Russell would able to do so. But unfortunately, Johnny Russell has been really that confident this season. He's been really struggling alongside with pretty much all these attacking talent that this SKC team has. But he puts this one one into the side netting. Fernandez on the other end would put one right to Melia before Bassett would cross it wide from close range before Navarro would have a shot that was tipped away by Melia. And I thought there was chances starting to come for both of these teams, especially from the Rapids where they were starting to push to try to get the lead before we'd head to the halftime whistle. Mihailovic had a chance to do so, but he puts it high from close, and we do head to halftime scoreless between both of these teams, which is something that I actually haven't mentioned at least in any of these games. In fact, this is actually the only game that we did head to halftime with no score because this one had to go at halftime. Before halftime, this one definitely had to go before halftime, and the two other game I talked about had a couple of goals before halftime as well. But in the second half, the Pulse would deny Polito from close range before in the 48th minute. Sporting KC does take the lead. It's Johnny Russell. He scored from Tommy and Libo to give Sporting KC a 1-0 lead. Again, Johnny Russell has really struggled this season, so you know that goal definitely mean a lot to him, and he hoped that that goal maybe start to kickstart of what has just been a very rough season for him and this entire SKC front three. Abubakar did look to answer, but he hits this one right to Melia before Laras would push it wide from close range as Colorado regained control of this game. They were pushing now to try to get the equalizer, and they do, as in the 69th minute. Nice. Oliver Lares would score from Mihailovic to tie the game up at one apiece. I believe it's the first career goal for Oliver Lares. I feel like he has scored another goal this season for the Rapids, but if it is his first goal, you know, I obviously didn't write first career MLS goal because of this uncertain. But if that is the case, congratulations of him scoring his first career MLS goal, and especially for the Rapids. Vines then puts it into the side netting from close before Laras would hits one right to Melia. Melia would then absolutely rob Navarro from point blank in the 81st minute, and this is where you're starting to see that yeah, it's clear that Sporting KC is bunkering again, and when Sporting KC does that, yeah, usually it doesn't end very well, and that the Rapids, you just kind of had a sense that eventually they weren't going to get that winning goal. And it finally happened in the fourth minute of stoppage time as a penalty was given to the Rapids as Melia brought down Yappy in the box. Yappy actually took a bit of a heavy touch in terms of it, but he actually just got there in time of a heavy touch that allowed Melia to try and claim it, and Melia wasn't able to be there in time to claim that ball, brought down Yappy instead. So that's a penalty for the Rapids, and in comes Mihailovic just steps up to take the penalty. He's been perfect this season, and he remained perfect as he slots that one home to get the winning goal for the Rapids. As in the end, the Rapids, they do win 2-1 against Sporting KC. The shots in this one, 16 shots for the 7 that Sporting KC had, 1 shots on goal for the 4 that the Rapids had, 7 shots off target for the 2 that Sporting KC had, 3 shots that is block committed 2 that Sporting KC had, and possession-wise, 58% possession compared to 42% possession that Sporting KC has in this game. So yeah, for Sporting KC, I mean, in terms of a pain level of them giving up a late goal between a scale of 1 to 10, I think this would be probably somewhere around like the 2 or 3 level because I'm pretty sure Sporting KC fans have seen this so much that it's getting to a point where it's almost like they're so used to them giving up late goals that they're not surprised anymore, and it's kind of almost like a bit of a numb feeling because of it. But for the Colorado Rapids, again, you know, it wasn't a pretty performance by any means of necessary. But when you are a team that has a chance to maybe be a contender in the Western Conference, these are the games that you have to win, and they did win that. So yeah, big win for the Rapids. Continue to rise up in the standings. But now moving on into the game that everybody want me to talk about in my broken voice. And for those that, of course, made it to the 24th minute of the video and you didn't skip through the first couple of review that I done, yeah, you definitely are a true supporter of my channel. But in case if you did actually click 24 minutes and get to this video, here's the review of El Trafico that happened at the Rose Bowl with LAFC getting the 2-1 win in this one. In the first half, I want to say there was a lot of empty red seats at the Rose Bowl early in this game, and that's understandable because not only the fact that this is the Rose Bowl, and I've been to the Rose Bowl a couple of times, and I can tell you how hard it is to get to that stadium. It's also kind of just your typical LA late crowd where usually they don't show up until probably the 20th minute, and eventually those seats did fill out. But yeah, there was no doubt that there was still some empty seats, and the attendance obviously is not as strong as what we saw last season. Where there was like 80,000 plus that showed up in this game. In fact, the attendance they announced was like something like 70,000 plus. It's still a very strong crowd. Definitely not as strong as what we saw last season. Bawanga would then hits one right to the side netting as that was El Trafico's first shot. Before on the other end, Lloris would deny Puig from close range, and really unsurprisingly, we saw some back and forth action with El Trafico. That's kind of what El Trafico is all about. Where at times it's a track meet where defense pretty much is put to the side. But it's also interesting to see who, of course, will make the opening statement. We've seen a lot of early goals in El Trafico before, and it seems like we were in point to see another one here. Though it seemed like that was the case in the 14th minute if it wasn't for the post denying Atuesta there, but Tillman did get a follow-up effort, but he missed wide there, and then McCarthy would deny Atuesta from close range before Holland would miss high from close in the 27th minute. As I thought LAFC started to take control of this game, they were creating the more dangerous chances, but as I said that, Puig would hit one right to Lloris in the 37th minute before McCarthy denied Ilie from long range, and then he denied Ilie from the corner in the 39th minute, but eventually pressure paid off for LAFC as in the 40th minute, Kai Kamara scored his 147th MLS goal from Bogusz to give LAFC the lead. So all of a sudden, ever since Kai Kamara finally uh, broke through in Thailand and Donovan record, which I'm pretty sure that's been kind of on his mind for a very long time because for a while he was stuck at that spot. It seemed like that pressure has finally put off of his shoulder because now he started to score goals again, and it has really just kind of become an ageless wonder right now. Continue to score goals, scoring his 147. And also not to mention that came off of a set piece. So you know what I'm gonna say whenever that came off a set piece, especially when the Galaxy is involved. That's their Achilles heel. They just cannot defend set pieces, especially from the corner. They're among the worst team in the league to do so. And it was another goal they gave up on the set piece. McCarthy then denied Bogusz, and on the follow up, there was a to see whether or not if Alde did brought down Atuesta there in the box. And they say yes. So a penalty was given to LAFC. Bawanga has a chance to double the lead, and he does. So that made it 2-0 before halftime, and that's got to be a backbreaker for the Galaxy because you know that you want to head to halftime down 1-0. Consider I don't think they were really up for it. LAFC was the better team at least in the first half, and the last thing you want to do is now I'll be 2-0 down heading into halftime, which that's what where they found themselves in. So they did try to get one back from Ricky Puig, but he puts it wide from long range. I didn't think Ricky Puig had a bad game in this one. In fact, he was definitely up in the occasion, but unfortunately, unlike the last game where he was the difference maker for the Galaxy, getting that 2-1 win against LAFC at the Rose Bowl, he wasn't able to make the same impact in this game. Now, in the second half, we have Bawanga puts it wide from long range, but then the 56th minute, the Galaxy pull one back. It's Gabriel Peck scoring from Yamane to give the Galaxy a goal back in this one. Not great defending whatsoever from LAFC here. I mean, just they didn't clear their lines there and allow Gabriel Peck a chance to score to give them life in this game. Painso then puts it wide on the doorstep of goal, and just like that, momentum was now with the Galaxy, and LAFC was started to reeling a little bit, and you can start to see that they almost forgot how to defend in the box because they were not doing very good job in terms of defending in the box whenever the Galaxy was on the attacking end. Puig would then hits one right to Lloris before Bawanga puts it wide from close, and then McCarthy would absolutely rob Kamara from the corner. Again, it almost was a carbon copy of the opening goal of this game. The Galaxy just continue to have no idea how to deal with Kamara. And also on the set piece, McCarthy then tipped Bogusz from close range. There was no doubt that McCarthy was single hand. He tried to keep the Galaxy in this game. El Trafico has always been a game that's not known for goalkeeping heroics because of those high scoring affair, but lately there has been times where that has been the case, and John McCarthy was definitely the one to do so, and not surprising against facing against his former team, and he's one of the few players that has the honor of playing on both sides of this El Trafico rivalry. But in the 84th minute, there was a scramble in the box there for the Galaxy, and that of course ended with Delgado having a shot that was deflected wide. There was no doubt the Galaxy was pushing like the equalizer, and you just get a sense for LAFC they need another goal because we know that chaos is the name of the game in El Trafico, especially as we wind down the clock. But the good news for LAFC, they do hold on to get a signature El Trafico win at the Rose Bowl as they win 2-1 in this one. It's the same scoreline as last year. El Trafico scored at the Rose Bowl, only this time it's LAFC, the one that was on the benefit end of a 2-1 scoreline. The shots in this one, 20 shots compared to just 10 that the Galaxy had. 8 shots on goal for the 4 that the Galaxy had. 2 shots off target for the 7 that LAFC had. 8 shots that was blocked for the 3 that the Galaxy had. And possession-wise, 57% possession compared to 43% possession that LAFC has in this game. And really, I think in terms of balance of play, LAFC definitely deserved this El Trafico win. I thought they were the better team in this game, but there was no doubt it was another entertaining El Trafico, another chapter of this El Trafico has come to an end, and I can't wait to see the third edition of this rivalry later this year, or maybe even a fourth edition, because who knows? There could be a chance that both of these teams could meet in the playoffs again. They've already done it twice in this history. Said that a third would not be on the table, and there's no doubt that if a third would be on the table in terms of seeing El Trafico in the playoffs, the Galaxy are probably hoping that third time is the charm because yeah, the Galaxy have not really had a good run when they face against LAFC in the playoffs. They actually have a better run in the regular season, though LAFC has tipped that scale in their favor with some of their recent El Trafico win. But there's no doubt it's going to be interesting to see how the third edition of El Trafico is going to be, especially I think the third edition is going to be played at the Hell Sports Park because I think the first one this year was played at BMO Stadium. But there you have it. That is pretty much it for the review of these 5 games to finish off the review for match week number 23. As always, let me know in the comments below what do you think of this video. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button. And yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.